Be the rational, conscious director of your life rather than just a slave to your monkey brain primal impulses. Focus has never been more difficult in life, with so many cheap dopamine highs like social media feeds, Netflix, YouTube, video games, porn. There's an epidemic of people with attention deficit disorder, OCD, depression, anxiety. This is all just a symptom of being a slave to your monkey brain impulses. This is the difference between animals and humans, is that humans can develop consciousness, but being a human doesn't mean that by default you have consciousness. If you are addicted to drugs and Reddit and whatever, porn, video games, all that stuff, then you are not in control of your life. Your primal monkey brain impulses are in control of your life. In order to be in control of your life, you need to develop discipline and willpower and consciousness. And it's not easy, I'm not going to lie, but it only happens through conscious willpower and effort. And it's going to be difficult, particularly in the beginning, because you're not used to it. You're used to giving in to your primal monkey brain impulses. But if you just force yourself to do what you need to do, then eventually it will become a habit. And what you got to realize is that every time you give in and say, for example, watch porn, you are further you're further moving away from your goals, because you're further cementing this bad habit of giving in to your cheap dopamine addiction. But every time that you exert willpower and stop yourself from like mindlessly surfing Reddit or watching porn or whatever, and do what you need to do, you are one step further to cementing the habit of doing what you need to do. And so in the end, create some long-term goals, create a daily plan. Maybe you want to be a YouTuber, for example. So you decide to make one video per day and stick to it. It doesn't mean you have to stick to whatever plan you made as like a stupid kid, because obviously you should adjust things, but just stick to something. Realize that people underestimate what they can achieve they overestimate what they can achieve in the short term, but underestimate what they can achieve in the long term. Exponential growth means that oftentimes the true fruits of your labor isn't reaped until farther on. And at the end of the day, you want to develop willpower and consciousness and the ability to direct your life how you see fit. And that's going to depend on your personal goals. But at the end of the day, as long as you're in control, you are winning. And don't fall into this trap of overthinking, of constantly being sucked into all these useless mental loops. Most cycles that people spend their brain on are just useless, like a CPU wasting cycles on an infinite for loop. So don't waste your time with this useless thinking. Just do what you need to do. Trust in the process and in the system. Focus on the process and the system, and consistency in the discipline rather than the results, especially when your results aren't entirely in your control, like popularity, internet traffic, sales, that sort of thing. Focus on the process and focus on developing that discipline and directing your life rationally. And this doesn't just apply to getting work done. It can apply to just doing anything that you know is rational. Like, for example, say like ending a bad relationship or getting over a bad breakup, or just making any difficult decision that you know is the rational thing to do, but maybe is difficult because you're enslaved to your primal monkey brain. Yeah. Just some food for thought.